A PR firm from the East Coast called Edelman was hired to survey people from California about their thoughts on various issues. Edelman is a company that operates in the field of public relations management, which is really just damage control with a suit and tie. They worked with Equifax last year to minimize the potential damage to the company after Equifax was breached, leading to millions of people's personal information getting hacked. If you are unfamiliar with all of this, I will leave a link in the description to a video that goes over this in detail. Edelman had surveyed 500 people in the San Francisco Bay Area, 500 people in the LA area, and then 500 people throughout the rest of the state, which covers quite a lot of ground. The most interesting out of all of the questions asked was near the end of the survey. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? I am considering moving away from California because of the high cost of living. Out of the 1,500 surveyed, 49% of all of them said that they somewhat or strongly agreed with that statement. 58% of millennials and 65% of parents surveyed. Interestingly enough, presumably, the same people who advocate for big government to come in and solve all of the issues are now laying their faith and dependence on business to lead the way. People who were surveyed, mostly in San Francisco and LA, liberal hotspots, have even less trust in their government than they do the media, the same media that spout their own talking points right back at them. They don't even believe their own propaganda. Of the people surveyed, 68% do not have confidence that current leaders can successfully address our country's challenges. They trust business the most at 45%, NGOs at 42%, the media at 38%, and government at 29%. Trust in media is partisan at the moment, as one might have imagined, with 26% of Republicans trusting the media and 53% of Democrats trusting the media. Those surveyed were still concerned about their privacy, as well as the societal effects that come from the growing dependence on tech. More than half were concerned that the tech industry has failed to protect them from data security threats. 49% were concerned that people are too focused on their technology and gadgets rather than real life. This next slide shows that there is an increasing demand for government regulations. 74% agreed that technology companies are part of corporate America. 62% said that the technology industry has been underregulated. Only 14% felt that tech companies should face fewer regulations. It's interesting, these people that were surveyed apparently place their faith in companies to do the right thing, but they also want more regulations. It's kind of counterintuitive, one would think. Social media companies also seem to be the most untrusted companies among those surveyed, right next to pharmaceutical companies. From what I can gather reading the results from this survey, people seem to trust each other less on social media. People are more trusting, apparently, when they hear information from somebody in person, at least they claim. 77% of people who were surveyed believe that social media is to blame for fake news. Of course, rather than believing that people should be diligent and responsible enough to determine what's real for themselves. 58% of people believe that social media spreads misinformation, versus the 42% that believe that social media helps people become more informed on news and issues. I can say, at least for myself, that I trust some anonymous person on the internet more than the mainstream propagandists that are put on TV. 86% of those surveyed supported the idea that social media should be held to the same standards as television. 78% want to levy fines against social media companies that host, publish, or repeat fake news. What could go wrong? Certainly no one would ever come in and pretend to be the authority on certain issues, making dissenters purveyors of fake news. Who gets to decide, the ADL? The SPLC? It doesn't take much of an imagination to see how this could be used, or would be used, to silence those with opinions that don't line up with Media Matters talking points. 75% want fines levied against social media companies when people use their platforms to violate the law, and 74% support the requirement of social media companies to review all content posted to their platform for accuracy. I'm not sure if you are aware of the amount of content uploaded to social media every day, but it is so much content that there would be no way to manually review all videos or information in general put up on the internet. That is actual insanity. People that I have talked to are more interested in moving from California because of the out-of-this-world laws that have been passed lately. The high cost of living definitely factors into it, but the frustration from a lot of people that I have talked to comes from, say, Scott Wiener's laws decriminalizing the willful transmission of a deadly disease and criminalizing a refusal to use new gender pronouns. There are also new laws being written to punish waitstaff who serve plastic straws to unwilling patrons, or punish individuals for watering their own lawn. How about that map to navigate around needles and feces in order to make it to work in the Bay Area? This government overreach to attempt to fix every problem in the world has created the very state that you have been looking at throughout this video. This is, in many ways, what a world of big government looks like. Remember this, the next time some smug person from California tries to tell you that California is the future, and that this is one of the wealthiest places on Earth. Well, typically, from the footage that I've been seeing, it kind of reminds me of the end of a society, not the beginning of one. What you are seeing is not wealth, it is poverty. The middle class has been chased out of California by hyper-progressives who seek to inflate their voting base, and there is no cost too high for the constituents to pay for these demagogues and their pursuit for open borders.